Hello everybody and welcome to this Train Sim World 4 discussion video. I haven't done these for a while, but I thought I'd give it a crack because I enjoyed doing them actually. Is that in? Yes. Yeah, I enjoyed doing them and I've got stuff that I want to talk about, I guess. So just spawned in here on Antelope Valley. Just because we've got the marker lights set up already. Let's leave that on. Where is all that? Is that upstairs? Oh, it's down here. Right, that's all on. Front headlights fine. TMS and ATS. Block doors, brakes off. Oh, is that the doors? Yeah, alright. And let's get moving. So, what do I want to talk about? Well, the editor mainly, just a bit of an update on where I am, because I have mentioned before that I wanted to do stuff with the editor and that I was trying to work on some Australian stuff in that. And I am making progress. I sort of set it aside for a while, but I'm learning my way around it, certainly. The recent stream helped a lot with optimizing the creation process. I've still got a lot to go, but certainly the terrain I've got more or less down pat. And I'm sort of getting towards track laying. I still need to get some custom assets. If you know how to use Blender and you want to help on this process, I would be really greatly appreciative. Try and just build up a library of assets, because it's things like signals, signs, eventually trains, but that's like a problem for another day. And it's just things that will need to be populated along the line, because obviously I can reuse some track asset from another route, you know, that's close enough, but I can't really reuse a whole signal from another route because it's not really correct. So yeah, that if you would be willing and you know how you know your way around Blender, then I would be very appreciative of any assistance in that regard. It's just speeding a little bit. Just watch that. Come on. There you go. But yeah, so that's where I'm at on the. That was my call to action. In terms of my next steps, so exactly where I am. Another crossing. So I have more or less done. So basically, what I'm doing a section of an Australian route from St Leonard's to Hornsby, if you're familiar with the Sydney Trains network. And obviously I'm not going to do all of it in one go. That would be ridiculous. I'm going to do little bits of it just to work my way around, and I'm probably going to start with Linfield to Gordon because it's a straight line, which, you know, easy to work with. Obviously, there are going to be some difficult bits, like the stations and whatnot. But at the moment, I've got all the SRTM and LiDAR data, so the terrain mapping is fine. I'm working my way around the brush tools. Still a bit of work there, but I've discovered them now, and I'm experimenting around. I still need to find the LiDAR brush tool, so if anyone knows where that is, that would be helpful. And you know, I've got all my Google Maps API, but I was having an experiment around with KML files, which are super helpful in route generation. And on that topic, on this whole editor topic as well, I thought I would just plug now, why not? I'm probably going to start doing editor streams. So just streaming for 2 or 2.5, 3 hours maybe. Just the editor. Just my processes on it, how I'm going. Just not as a walkthrough tutorial or anything, just to sort of so you can see where I'm up to on it, because I do plan to maybe release my projects if they're any good. Obviously, that's the big thing. I've seen as well a lot of stuff that other people have stuck out on the editor. Obviously, I especially now, I really don't have that much time to give to the editor, and I wouldn't imagine I'll get much outside of streams done, but certainly some people have a lot more time and have spent a lot more time in the editor than I have, and it shows. Like, people are rolling out, and I mean, some people might have had these models already lying around, but they've got Amtrak, Genesis locos, some NOAB locos. Someone had sounds, physics, and a basic model for a Genesis loco, and just needed the texturing, and already contacting Dovetail about potentially selling it as an official product, which, you know, good on you. I haven't even started painting grass on my thing yet, so yeah, it goes to show how quickly and how determined some people work. But one thing that I am really looking forward to, and I think the rest of the community who are interested in using the editor, is the continued documentation. Like, I think everyone was a bit pissed off when Dovetail released the thing and then let us, you know, have to stab around in the dark to see actually how the fuck to use it. And now they've got all of their experts, like Lucas, I believe, did the most recent stream. That was so helpful. Like, that introduced me to KML. I was just flying the camera around, generating new tiles, and flying the camera around, generating new tiles. Had no idea how many I needed to make it look good. No idea where the brush tools were, or how to use them, or how to see which map areas had already been used, or any of that, really. And, you know, he came through, because I figured out all the terrain stuff, but it comes, oh, you can press this, and then it will automatically spawn in your SRTM data, and then you can do this, and it will create your route tiles, and you can use this command to do that. And it was fantastic, truly fantastic. And then goes into all the track laying and such. That is a green over red, so we are all right to go back up to full line speed. And yeah, the hard part for me on this route is just going to be dealing with the editor and dealing with Blender and QGIS and stuff, because I know my way around the route that I've chosen very well. I've travelled on it, well, literally thousands of times. It is my local route, and I know it like the back of my hand. And there are lots of cab videos available, and a lot of the assets I suspect I could reuse, but nevertheless I will need some custom ones. And look, I do want to try my hand at Blender at some point, just see how it works. I mean, the speed signs I wouldn't imagine are too difficult, because that's just a flat texture on a stick. But the signals might be a little bit harder still. I'll see if I can find any assets that I could use for that. But in the meantime, I might have to roll out a slightly different signaling system just to amuse myself. Right, still got a clear on that. Knock it into full brake. Full dynamic brake. We'll see what happens. Are we crossing over? No. 40 or 30? 40, okay. 40 or 50. What am I talking about? Seems a bit odd to have that just hanging in the middle of there. I think by now we would have more or less been yeah, you can get back up to 50. What that's about, I have no idea. Anyway. Cruise the 2 and a bit miles into LA Union Station. We're due in 9 minutes, which is a lot of time to go, not very far. But another thing I was thinking to myself about when I was, flying around the route that I'm trying to make, was it's very much going to be focused on the cab experience. There's going to be hardly any kind of interactive elements around the route on foot. You won't be able to walk into any buildings because I just am not willing to model that. Or do any kind of physics or whatnot for that. I just want to get a route out and make sure it works, and you can drive a train and it looks half decent. So, there might be a few rows of housing, or 1 or 2 rows of housing on either side of the tracks, and then that's it. It'll be a field. Just as long as it looks convincing from the cab, that's really, or from the tracks, I guess, that's really all that I care about. But it also means that I can get it out much faster. Like, you think about this, and Dovetail if you fly up, you can see they've modelled a fair amount. And if you fly up on my route, it would be pretty clear. Like, there might be a hole in the terrain, for all I know. I know there'll be some people who are much more determined to do things properly. Oh, that reminded me of another thing I need to make myself, is the catenary, because of course that needs to be custom as well. Oh, remembering all the wonderful things. That come down to 25. $23, $24, $25. Yeah, 1.2 miles, and you're giving me 6.5 minutes. I don't think so. Even at 12 miles an hour. Like, this is... The end of the line is on the monitor now. You are speeding a little bit. That's alright. No biggie. Right, advanced approach. And yeah, the signalling is something that I'm quite looking forward to, because I'm genuinely interested in railway signalling. And it might be a field that I consider going into professionally. But I'm quite interested to learn how to integrate that properly in blueprints and whatnot, in linking all the potential routes together. Just really seeing how everything will work and how the dispatcher works and all that. It will be tedious, no doubt, but I am looking forward to the challenge, as opposed to modelling assets, which I'm really not that interested about. Like, I'll do it because everything else depends on it, but certainly, like, one of my friends is super passionate about modelling. Not anything for this game, is like modelling anime girls. to then sell to desperate weirdos on modelling stores and shit, and makes decent money from it. So you can't knock it. Come on, let's have a bit of speed. Bit more than 10. What's the gradient here? Okay, level. It's fine. But yeah, so that's why I'm asking for anyone who's willing to help on this project for the modelling, because I'm not especially I will if push comes to shove, but I think my skills would be more useful in route building and signalling application. And also, it's if we have multiple people working on it, it'd be easier to split them into one person's dealing with the editor and other people are working in Blender, because then you don't need to set up remote workstations and however the fuck that works. I have absolutely no idea in the Unreal Editor, and no doubt I'll try and get that working, because I will try and I don't know, probably not. Just I might try and do some of this stuff on the go, but I don't think a laptop's going to be up to running the fucking editor. Anyway, my ranting over. We have arrived at the Los Angeles Union Station, track 07. Track 07. Now that's a sort of northeast accent, isn't it? Track 07. Hey girl, we're at track 07. It's not great, but it works. Hey, do you want to make a TikTok? Out track 07 at LA Union Station. Yeah, it does strike me this station as a bit underwhelming, because everyone talks about how it's fantastic, and I have seen pictures of the booking hall and it's marvellous, but these platforms are a bit depressing. They're so narrow and they just back onto a street with nothing there. Now, even Central Station in Sydney, whose platforms are equally unremarkable, at least has something to back onto, like a huge, fantastic concourse. I mean, not as good as St Pancras or King's Cross, obviously. There's no train shed, but it's sort of on that level. And where's that going to put us in relation to the spot cab? Pretty fucking bang on, I reckon. Pretty bang on. Look at that. I'm calling that. Is that 500? 465? What for? That's the stupid being early bug again. Being early knocks points off. It's ridiculous. So empty. Very empty. Yes. Biggest city on the west coast, and there's 2 trains in its main station. Be good if, everyone had access to the trams as well. That would be nice. It does seem so weird that they build all this permanent infrastructure just for a fucking tram. They built all these subway tunnels for a tram. It's literally just a tram. Just put a regular train on it. Anyway, this is going to make us sit here for another little while. Fuck it, let's have a walk around. A walk around. I know my way around by levels. Taken them thousands of times as well. These American trains, they just seem so weird. Like, you got... The seats look fine, but you've got all this safety notices and all this stuff, all these buttons and tabs, and everything's so complicated and crowded, and like, what the fuck is this for? And this, and they feel very cramped instead of like a plane. There's all this out in the open paneling and control stuff, and and they can't even get the platform to work properly. Like, this is the disabled area, and they've got exterior stuff. That's good. Exterior PIS, but no, here I understand this. You'd put the ramp over, but really, why don't you just make the whole platform this high, or even better, do Go Sydney style, knock the doors in here, and have a high platform, and then this becomes your accessible area. And from there you can go up and down, and there's faster loading. Because here, if you want to go upstairs or to the vestibule, everyone has to come up these stairs. Whereas if you're coming up through here, half the people go up the stairs, half the people go down, and your dwell time is reduced. Well, enough ranting. Hey guys, my name's RM Transit. Gold medal, not even platinum. Yeah, I guess I was speeding a fuck done, wasn't I? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this rant. I'm going to call it a discussion still. Again, hit me up if you have anything you can bring to the table for a Sydney route. As well, there might be a link in the description where you can... Nah, actually, sod that. And yeah, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.